Let's take a look at how to solve the system of linear equations using the elimination method. To use the elimination method, we're going to adjust the equations with multipliers and then add the equations together. This will eliminate one of the variables if we do it correctly. We can then solve for the remaining variable and plug that value back in to find the value of the other variable. So for this system, we have one equation is 5x minus 3y equals negative 10. The other is 2x minus 6y equals 8. Looking at those and kind of thinking about it, we could either set it up to cancel out the x's or the y's. We have a choice. We do need to adjust them a little bit. The simplest adjustment that we can make is if we multiply the top equation by negative 2, that would turn negative 3y into positive 6y, which is the opposite of negative 6y, and it'll cancel out. Adding the equations together will then cancel out the y variable. We could also, multiplying by negative 2, we could then also multiply the bottom equation by like a positive 5, and that would allow us to cancel out the x's. So there are definitely different ways that we can go about this. But the simplest way for this example is to multiply by negative 2. So if I multiply everything up top by negative 2, I get negative 10x plus 6y equals positive 20. Sorry about that, I almost missed that term. It is important that you multiply all of the terms by the chosen multiplier. And then I get 2x minus 6y equals 8. So we chose negative 2 so that we got a positive 6y. So now when I add those equations together, combining the like terms, the x becomes a negative 8x and the y's go away. So I'm going to write down a 0y here because positive 6 and negative 6, adding them together we get 0. And on the other side we can add those numbers together and we get a 28. So solving the equation, negative 8x equals 28. I can divide both sides by negative 8. Be careful, I don't want to lose that negative sign. So I have x equals 28 divided by negative 8. We can simplify that a little bit. 4 goes into both the top and the bottom. So we end up with a negative 7 over 2. Or if you prefer, we could think of this as negative 3.5. So we've done steps 1, 2, and 3. We found the value for one of the variables. We want to plug that back in to one of the expressions to find the value of the other. Since we have 2 in the denominator, I'm going to plug it back into the second expression so that multiplying by 2 will kind of cancel that out. So for step 4 here, if I take 2 times the solution we found for x, I can now find a value for y. So I get a negative 7 minus 6y equals 8. If I add 7 to both sides, I get negative 6y equals 15. Dividing both sides by negative 6 gives me y equals negative 15 over 6, which simplifies to negative 5 over 2. Dividing both the top and the bottom by 3. So our solution is hopefully 7 over 2 for x, negative 7 over 2, and negative 5 over 2 for y. It's a great idea to check, and we can do that by plugging things back into the first equation. I used the second equation to find the second variable. So if I plug both of those values into the first equation, I can check to make sure that we do have a solution for both of those. So taking a moment to check, I get 5 times negative 7 over 2 minus 3 times negative 5 over 2. And I'm hoping, I want to see if that does in fact equal negative 10. Multiplying this out, I can think of the 5 here as 5 over 1. I can think of the 3 as 3 over 1. Multiplying the fractions, I can multiply the numerators. I get negative 35 divided by 2. And then this is a minus negative 15 divided by 2. So that's going to become a negative 35 and then a plus 15. The negatives cancel. All of that divided by 2. Well, that's negative 20 up top. And negative 20 divided by 2 is in fact negative 10. Right, so it does work. This pair, negative 7 over 2 and negative 5 over 2, is a solution to both equations. I encourage you to take a few minutes to try to think about the following question. Find a solution using the elimination method to the system 4x plus 5y equals 7 and 2x plus y equals negative 1. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.